Sam Goge. I'm born again Christian. I come from Muranga County, or Sarani. I'm married, only one wife, and we are blessed with 2 boys against all odds. Immediately from honeymoon, I was diagnosed of cancer NPC stage 3, and immediately I was told, after starting the first chemo, for the next 20 years, I'll never be called a daddy. But against all odds, we have 2 boys in the house. Now I started the chemo and radiotherapy. In between the treatment, the body could not withstand the side effect of chemo and radiotherapy. And by God's grace, I was connected to someone who impacted us about how to overcome this through the 3-tier model, spiritual, dietary, and also the medical way. When I incorporated the 3-tier model, I overcame. I was given a clean bill of health, and that's when I gotten a burden to impact people who are going through the same what I went through. I started a foundation by the name CAM Foundation, that is Cancer Awareness and Management Foundation. The reason why I got that burden, it's because I remember when I was in that chemo and radiotherapy, the doctor almost gave up on my treatment because the body was very weak. I was not able to withstand the side effect. But through the information I received through the treatment about diet, about the spiritual nourishment, faith in God, power of prayer, and also about diet, the kind of food I'm supposed to take to help me boost my immune system. So I saw it important to share with general public the importance of impacting them, because there's this saying which says information is power. And also the word of God says in the book of Hosea, my people are perishing for lack of knowledge. So that's when we started the foundation, and our mission as a foundation, it is to create awareness so that we may cultivate a cancer-free society by impacting people. I remember my sister, before I was diagnosed of cancer, I used to go to chemist to take mara moja because I had a prolonged headache for like 1 year. Kube, it was one of the signs of cancer, but I didn't know. It was diagnosed in cancer, it was in stage 3. So caregivers are very important to fight this monster, because one, at least they are providing a shoulder for a survivor to lean on. Also a survivor needs someone who can encourage. Unajua Mswahili alisema mtaka cha mfuguni shati ainame. So remember, as a caregiver, you have always to be there to help the patient, especially wakati ana need something. You are always there to help. Something else very important about caregiving, I was almost to give up this journey, but my wife was always there to encourage me. That's why it's very important to have a very serious and any concerned caregiver, because were it not for her encouragement, were it not for her persistence, I remember I used to give up. I used to give up on this journey, but she was always there to encourage me, to pray for me. Then I was somehow, when she provides something for me to eat, inasema hapana sitaki, then kutapika. One of the side effects of chemotherapy, kutapika. But one of the important part of caregiver, my wife was very persistent. Nikitapika ananiletea kikombe kingine na nikunywe. Tena naenda natapika ananiambia, even if you take 10 times, I will not give up. I will always provide all whatever is needed for you.
Yeah, my name is Julia Sam, and I am a co-founder in CAM Foundation. And it's a journey that we started after my husband was diagnosed with cancer, and he overcame. And from there, we saw a need to also work with other people who have gone through the ordeal, because cancer, as the name suggests, most of the time when it comes to the ear of the hearer, it becomes like a death sentence. But after having gone through it, we saw that there's a need to also work with other people so that they cannot carry the burden without knowledge on how to go about it. Yeah. Kwanza, my case was not easy because actually I just gotten married a few months, not even few months, immediately after honeymoon. And you know, when you're getting married, you have a whole future in front of you. And now hearing the name cancer looks like the whole world has come to a crumble. But of course, it came to me. I got devastated at first, and I can say, I really cried a lot. But even after the crying and getting devastated, things didn't change. So I saw now that whatever has happened now is a reality. It's true, it's cancer. I had never heard about cancer. It's around 10 years ago. I'd never heard of cancer in my family. I'd never had cancer of anybody close to me. Now here I was, and my husband, who is just my newly wedded husband, has been diagnosed with cancer. So of course I was devastated. But even after getting devastated, what do? Is a fact, and it is facing you. And I saw a need to rise above the frustration, to rise above the agony, and face the situation as it is. And of course, having anchored my faith in God, I knew that with God all things are possible. That even if it's cancer, yes, as it is, that I can rise above it. So I took it upon myself. Of course, we went through the doctor, and he got treatment. And the side effects of chemo and radiotherapy, it's not easy. So I looked for ways to try and curb the side effects of radiotherapy and even chemo. For instance, people who are going through chemo, you find that the iron levels or the blood levels really goes down for some reason. I might not know why. Maybe the doctors can explain to us. And even when the white blood cells also goes down. At one time, I remember my husband was quarantined because his white blood cells were literally down. So anytime he would go out, he could anaweza patwa na ugonjwa wote. But I looked for ways to go about this. I looked for foods that can help lift the immunity level. I also looked for foods that can help boost his iron levels. So literally, I would say, when you're working with a cancer patient, it's very important to watch on what they are going to take, because they're told that the medicine takes on them. And also, it's also good to encourage the cancer patient and tell them that cancer is not a death sentence, because most of the time when a spouse gets cancer, I've had so many instances where they have really separated because the other spouse could not take that. But they should know that cancer is not a death sentence. We've had so many survivors, and it's not a must for the other person to die just because they have been diagnosed with cancer. So it's good for people to work with their spouses, yeah? Because wawili wakiwa wanasaidiana, two are better than one. So emotionally, be there for your partner. It's good when you're there for your partner emotionally. It's good to be there for your partner. So socially, you need to, because at times I would realize that anytime I went down, I got discouraged. I realized that someone is also getting discouraged. But anytime I lifted my faith and showed him, you can face this, I realized that he's able to face the situation. So I would literally say, let people stand in for their spouses and for their family members, even though, and trust God. Let me say, let's trust God, because the treatment of cancer is not easy. It takes a lot of finances. It drains the family financially. But with God, all things are possible. He is a provider. He is a healer. So it's good to stand with your spouse, because cancer, as I say, it's not a death sentence. Yeah.
My name is Mary Mwangi. I'm a wife, a mother of 3 adults, and I'm a spine blessed cancer champion. This is my 5th and 6th year respectively. So the first time I was diagnosed with cancer, I was eager to know what I was ailing from, because initially I had been put on TB treatment for 11 months, not knowing what it was. So by the 11th month, I couldn't walk. So I had to change the doctor and did more tests, and that's when I was diagnosed with spine. I had a tumor they said it was T12 and it was stage 3B. So when I was diagnosed with the spine, I started treatment. They said I start with radio so that I'll be able to walk. They wanted to see how I will respond. And since the TB treatment had damaged my bones, they said they would not start me immediately with chemotherapy. Instead, I was put on oral chemotherapy. So as I was doing radiotherapy, this was the day on my last radiotherapy, I noticed I had a lump. So it was for finishing this treatment, starting another treatment. I was diagnosed with stage 3. My breast was removed. I had mastectomy, and I went through another round of radiotherapy, and I was put on treatment for 3 years. On 2019, I was declared cancer-free. I started knitting these chemo hearts. And that time, I didn't know what I will do with these hearts. I just knit without knowing how I will take them or what will happen. So, but when I got well and joined a support group, we went to Kenyatta to donate the hearts I had already made. We donated, and it was during this donation I met a lady from a support group, and she told me, Mary, you can't survive on donating. You also need to make it to take it at another level like a business, and you start selling, so you'll be able to buy more wool. And since then, that's what I have been doing. Later, I realized because the prosthesis I bought, it was artificial, and it was very costly, because I remember I bought at 22,000. So I asked myself, how many women can afford this, considering they are already in treatment? When you get cancer, breast cancer, you are already in treatment. So I learned how to knit these ones. And so I knit, I donate, I sell, because there are those patients who are needy. I donate to them. There are others who are able to buy. And I also, many people buy from me and they donate. So this is what we are doing. And when I am called by anybody to go and see a cancer patient, like a breast cancer survivor or any cancer, I use my resources. So we're glad we can say mambo ni tofauti, and I wish even the government can support this, so that we can be able to reach more and more, because sometimes you reach them, you don't know what to do with them, you can't help, there is very little you can do. So I wish the government can do that, because cancer is very, very, very expensive, and not many can afford that.
Mimi naitwa Susan tu, nilikuwa na breast cancer, na nashukuru Mungu I was declared nimepona April last year. Sikuwa najua cancer ni nini, na ile tu nilikuwa najua, nilikuwa nasikia watu wakiongea mambo ya cancer. Kwa hivyo wakati nilisikia niko nayo, nilitetemeka sana na nikaona kaa ni kifo mbele yangu. So lakini before cancer nilipitia fibroids, nikawa niko na fibroids, nikaenda nikafanyiwa operation, that was 2019 April. Alafu sasa nikatibiwa hiyo fibroids until July still 2019, nikawa niko na blood clot. Kutoka kwa blood clot nikatibiwa for 7 months. Come 2020 nikawa tena niko anemic, tena nikatibiwa for 2.5 months until sasa. Wakati nilikuwa natibiwa hiyo anemia, nikaongea na daktari, nikamwambia nasikia tu kauvimbe kidogo kwa matiti. So daktari akaniambia saa vile aliniguza as he was coming every week, every Monday anakuja anaguza, ananiambia sasa wakati nitutamaliza hii treatment ya anemia utakuja tuendelee na hii treatment ingine. So wakati nikasikia hiyo himizo, juu daktari aliniambia ati tutaangalia, wacha niende nimuulize mambo na hii kuangalia ilikuwa nini. So wakati nilienda nikampata kwa ofisi na akaniambia niende nipigwe picha ya x-ray. Nikaenda nikapigwa na nikarudi kwake, akaniambia sasa vile utafanya biopsy. So wakati nilifanywa biopsy ikasemekana niko na first stage ya cancer. So 2021 January 15 ndio sasa nikaenda nikatolewa matiti na nikaendelea na chemo. After chemo nikafanya radiotherapy. After radiotherapy sasa I was declared a survivor. Sasa kwa hiyo treatment ya cancer, for sure it is very expensive. Juu daktari mwenye alikuwa ananifanyia anaitwa Dr. Ojuka, aliniambia ni 300,000. Sasa hiyo nimesimamishwa kazi, I'm unemployed, I'm a widow, na sasa sina kazi. So nikamuuliza sasa what do I do? Juu sasa siwezi na sina income yoyote na siku hata nimesave. Juu watoto wangu hata walikuwa shule. So daktari akaniambia vile tutachukua form ya NHIF. Juu NHIF huwa wanasaidia. So out of hiyo ya NHIF walinipatia 120,000. So akaniambia niende nikatafute hizo zingine. So I tried to talk to people. Hata yeye alinisaidia sana juu hata hao wali reduce the cost. So I managed kutolewa. Support ilikuwa ngumu juu wakati huo ulikuwa wakati wa corona. So niliongea na our siblings which mmoja wao ndio tu alikuwa able to, lakini hangeweza kunisupport vile. So yeye alikuwa maybe ananinunulia tu matunda. So I had to open up myself and talk it out. So I talked to some of the church members, wakaunganisha ka WhatsApp group. So kila mtu yenye alikuwa nayo akanisupport, plus now the siblings, plus now the NHIF. I would tell the cancer patients that ile burden Mungu ameweka ndani yako is powered in 1 Corinthians 10:13 that he always provides a way. No temptation has seized man, and everything is common to man, and God will always provide a way that you can escape it. So naweza waambia cancer, though it sounds a killing disease, ukiamini Mungu, there is nothing impossible with God. Number 2, speak it out. Unajua ukiweka kitu kwa roho yako itakuua wewe mwenyewe, but when you speak it out, ukuje uniambie, nitapata nafasi ya kukuombea, nitapata nafasi hata nikipata tunda moja nitakuja visit. At least I'll see people visiting me, or you can visit that other person. For the family members and maybe a wife, if I can talk to a husband mwenye bibi yake ni mgonjwa, wengine they are rejected, hata unafukuzwa. I have people who tulikuwa tunaenda nao kwa hii safari ambao boma yao ilibomoka. Juu Bwana alisikia bibi ako na cancer, akaona hawezi afford. Unajua sana ningeomba tu Bwana the husbands should not get away. The wife needs the support of the husband, because hata saa ingine wako na watoto wao. So hiyo kuhimizwa, that encouragement, that person who is next to you is the first person who makes you feel that you are healing. But wakati sasa anapotea, you get akili ni mingi, sasa unaendelea na hiyo stress, pia inaongezea hiyo ugonjwa. So to me, I would say hata uko kwa community, ukisikia mtu ako na cancer, ana need your support, just the visit, just the word out of your mouth will really heal that person.